Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm bringing you guys on a video shoot with me today. We're at Robert Garcia's boxing gym. He's one of the best trainers in the world. We're filming a boxer and some clothing for Boxraw. It's an awesome apparel line. So what I'm going to do today is teach you guys how to shoot high intensity sport videos. I have a shoulder rig, which my buddy Oscar is actually filming on. Thank you for helping me with this video today. And we're using the Tamron 28-75 on the R3. Also have my G Master, the 16-35 on top of my a7iii, and we're using the crane too. So we're gonna do cinematic movements with the gimbal, and then we're gonna get that like live POV action with the shoulder rig. So we're gonna go inside. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm using. We're also gonna be filming 60 frames per second and 120 frames per second, so we don't have as much motion blur, because when you have the boxers, you don't want just to see like at 24 frames per second blurry, nothing crisp. So we're gonna be able to speed ramp, slow down at 60 and 120 frames. And I'm also using EOS HD on the 120 frames just because it's a little bit dark in there, and we didn't want to bring lights because there's a lot of people training, and Cine 4 with the 60 frames per second. So follow me inside, we're gonna get this going. All right, so the number one tip I'm going to give you guys is when you're shooting, get every angle possible. Stand on things, get crouched down really low, shoot unconventional shots you normally wouldn't see or think of. Shoot through objects, pull off objects, do pans. I mean, there's an endless amount of shots, and I hope from this side-by-side comparison, you get an idea on how I'm shooting my clips. Another tip is use different focal ranges. I could get those wide establishing shots, I could get medium shots to make sure my talent and the clothing that I'm shooting is in frame, and then I could get those tight, detailed B-roll shots of the logos on the shorts, the t-shirt. It's gonna set you apart from other video creators, because a lot of guys just shoot wide and don't really get up close to the subject. Now, another tip I'd like to give you guys is making sure you hold your shots. And by that, I mean, don't cut the clip right away. There's so many times where I would be shooting in 60 or 120 frames, and I didn't want to slow it down, but I didn't have enough of that footage. The length was too short unless I slowed it down. So if you want to have the opportunity to have not only slow motion footage, but also be able to use it in real time, hold your shots a little bit longer. Just get that static shot or do the gimbal movement a little bit longer, so that if you really don't like the way it looks slowed down, you can use it in real time. That's like a number one tip, and it happened to me a lot when I first started out, so I try to hold my shots a couple seconds like later. Now, this isn't the final product. If you guys want to see when the live footage rolls out, you could check out my Instagram this week. All right guys, so that's a wrap with today's boxing shoot. Now, I always like shooting sports in a 60 frames or 120 frames. You don't want that much motion blur. You want to be able to speed up and slow down certain aspects. You want that nice fast-paced movement. So that's why I'm switching between both frame rates. As far as the Cine 4 and EOS HD, it just depends how much light I have. We couldn't set up lights at that shoot, and there was other boxers training in the gym, so we couldn't really take over the gym and get it set up properly for more of a cinematic studio with lighting and turning off the regular lights and just having it look a lot more cinematic. So this was more being like a fly on the wall from a boxer's perspective as he trains. So that's what we tried capturing today for the clothing brand. Now, another tip for you video creators also is put out your work on every sort of platform: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Venmo. I mean, anything that you could go ahead and market yourself and just show the world what it is you create, put it out there. If it wasn't for Chris to see my Kemba Walker clip, I would have never got picked up by Boxraw and worked with these awesome guys. Just by them seeing my clips on Instagram, they reached out to me, said, we're local, we're a UK brand, our creative director is in California, do you want to work with us? So it just goes to show a big following Presence isn't everything, but you can get work off of there. If you guys are interested in a video on how I approach clients, whether it's emails or walking in or phone calls or DMs, let me know if you want me to make that type of video. This way I could show you my type of structure and strategy on pitching yourself as a creator. So that's what I had in mind for today's video, just showing you what gear I was using, which the shoulder rig is so underrated. Like, YC Imaging swears by it, and if you're doing music videos and action sports, you get that natural movement. Like, you could just sway and move and it's still stable. And I'll do an in-depth review on the shoulder rig. It's cheap. It's 55 bucks. If you guys want to pick it up, it's in the link in the description. It's made really well for what it is, and I'm loving it more and more as I'm using it. I got some awesome B-roll with it, got some like really fast-paced shots, and surprisingly, I didn't use my gimbal as much. Even for the B-roll panning shots, that shoulder rig was great. Like, I was really shocked. Like, I haven't picked it up in a while, and it was refreshing using that instead of like the go-to gimbal or the handheld with the neck strap. I mean, there's nothing wrong with those tools, but they all have their purpose. So if you guys like these style videos, if you want to see me take you guys out on more video productions that I do, bigger, smaller, all types of odds and ends, real estate, drone work, I mean, whatever you have, portrait sessions, family shoots, I'll bring you guys on all of it as long as I'm allowed to. I want to shout out to Oscar. Oscar was actually a subscriber of mine that reached out to me, that wants to shadow me. And any of you guys, if you ever have questions, if you ever want to come out on shoots, if you're in the LA Orange County area, DM me on Instagram. I'm more than willing to help you guys out, because I wasn't, 2 years ago, I was starting out on the journey that most of you guys watching this are, and if it wasn't for YouTube University, I wouldn't be shit. I wouldn't have shit. I wouldn't have worked with the incredible people and brands that I've worked with so far. So I want to give back to you guys. Like, that's literally why I made this channel, is to teach the stuff that took me forever to figure out, and how many times I had to fuck up and screw up on shoots and, go through that rough patch of learning and figuring out what works for me. If I could help you guys like speed up that learning curve, that process, that's what I'm here to do. I want to give a shout out to Boxraw and Robert Garcia for inviting us. So yeah, Chris, thank you so much for having me. Great. It was awesome working with you. And once again, Oscar, you're the man. Thank you so much for the BTS. And I see you guys stepping it all up, and I can't wait to work with you guys soon. So I'm Jason Anthony, guys. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you want to see all the gear I used, it helps out the channel. I have my affiliate links below. Till next time, guys, peace.